Hey Mixers, welcome back to another NBA player props video. I'm in my robe today, but don't worry, I am fully clothed. I've got a shirt on, pants, underwear, robe. It's just cold. I even have shoes on. Yeah, don't worry about anything. I got to keep warm. It's winter time. We had a pretty good day. We are giving away some cash today, but I do have some good news and bad news about that. Unfortunately, one of you little assholes hacked into my Venmo account, went into my Prize Picks account, stole all my money. I got it back, but I'm going to have to not be Venmoing and Cash Apping people anymore. So I'm going to have to figure out a new system. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to keep track of your winnings. And then when you get to like 50 bucks, let's say, maybe I send you an Amazon gift card or something like that. Hopefully that seems fair. If you have any other ideas of ways I could safely send you guys some money, I'd love to hear them. But unfortunately, you guys ruined it. Someone ruined it for everybody else. So that's what we're going to have to do from now on. Anyway, let's give away that cash and get into the recap and get into the picks for Saturday. All right, let's go ahead and spin that wheel. We had 2 out of 3 today. And looks like we got that guy Hayden. He said Fears and McCollum. Those were the 2 that hit. All right. So, like I said, we went 2 out of 3. Donovan Mitchell crushed us on the assists. That happens when you're going to bet against a superstar. You got to be prepared to lose sometimes. And he did have 8 assists. So, wasn't even a hook. Jeremiah Fears made us sweat, but he did get us there with 12. I told you that I would take it up to 12.5, which that obviously would not have cashed. But I told you I would take it at 11.5. It was at 10.5 most of the day. He did come off the bench, which I think was the reason we were seeing the lowered line. But I think that's going to happen more and more often, by the way, because they have been playing him very heavy minutes so far this year, and he's just a rookie. So I do think we need to be a little bit more careful when it comes to Jeremiah Fears in the future. And then CJ McCollum got it done for us, baby. Over 21.5 PRA. I had a good feeling the Hawks would win that game. And CJ McCollum was a part of that. Then the leans, Jalen Tyson came through. That is the one that I bet the alt line on. I did not end up going in on either of these 2 leans on the regular lines. I told you that might be the case. And so I did not bet these down here, but I did bet an alt line on Jalen Tyson. I think it was 11.5 over like 11.5, something like that. I did also bet an alt line on DeAndre Hunter. I ended up doing that over 10.5, I believe, and he did not come through. But we got a great run here. We hit our bonus bet, so we're back up over 50% on the bonus bets, which is fantastic. Giannis came through for us, and then the alt line, Sabonis came through. Peyton Watson did not play. All in all, pretty good day. All right, jumping into tomorrow, I do have a parlay for you, and the first one here is going to be the Timberwolves home against the Warriors. Now, the Timberwolves did win already in a head-to-head this year, but that was an away game. And then they lost the 3 previous to that last season, and 2 of those were at home. And then they won the 4 before that in the season before that. 2 seasons, I guess, before that. So kind of like a 50-50 coin flip here as far as the head-to-head data goes. But if you see how the teams are playing, the Warriors are 8-14 in away games. Timberwolves are 15-7 at home. Obviously, the Warriors just lost Jimmy Butler, so I don't know how that's going to affect the team. Jimmy Butler did not play in either one of these Golden State Warrior wins in Minnesota last year, by the way. So obviously the team does look just a little bit different. I just think the Timberwolves are playing a little bit better this year, and so I'm willing to throw them in a little bit of a parlay here. Warriors are kind of struggling. All right. But also, by the way, I think it might be a low-scoring game if you care, because I think both teams usually shoot a lot of threes, but both of these teams guard pretty well against a 3. So it might end up being a low-scoring game. All right, Celtics and Bulls here. This is the scary one, you guys. So Boston has completely dominated this series. The Bulls have only won one of these games head-to-head in the past, 8? But that was in Chicago. Or no, it wasn't in Chicago. It was in Boston. So they have not won at home in the past 8 head-to-heads, basically. They're playing about 50-50. Celtics are playing, 15-9 away, so that's pretty good. And then the Bulls are playing 14-9 at home. Celtics are coming off of a back-to-back, though, with the Nets that went down to the wire, which the Nets, who just barely only put up, 60 points in an NBA game a second ago, almost beat the Celtics tonight. And now the Celtics have to travel to Chicago. Josh Giddey obviously going to be on a minutes restriction still, but I like the Bulls to get it done at home. It's a little bit of a riskier play, But put those together and you get 171 is what I got. All right, the player props, LaMelo Ball over 6.5 assists. If they're going to give us this line out of like a regular even line, I'm going to play it almost every single time, you guys. He's over 63% of the time head-to-head, including the most recent two where he crushed this line. And then that jumps to 75% in home games. He's over in 79% of home games this season. So I like playing this, especially at home. Now, they are limiting LaMelo Ball's minutes. Remember, he came off the bench the other day, but he still crushed his assist line because now he has Con Knipple, Colin Sexton, Brandon Miller. All these people can score. So LaMelo is fine to sit back and dish the ball a little bit more when he's trying to rest or recuperate a little bit. All right, Anthony Edwards. Oh, this says over 29.5 points, but that is absolutely incorrect. We're going under. So please ignore the over symbol. Hopefully you are listening to this and not just looking at it, because this is an under. Under 29.5 points for Anthony Edwards. He's only over in 33% of home games. And then that drops to zero. He's over in 33% of head-to-head games. And then that drops to zero head-to-head games when he's at home. And then he's only over in 33% of home games this season in general against all teams. So what I'm saying is over the past 3 seasons, he has never gone over this line in Minnesota against this Warriors team. Does that mean he can't do it? No, of course he can. He can go over this line against this team, whether he's at home or not at home. That's not the point. But Anthony Edwards, this team, when they play at home, the Timberwolves, they usually let their role players play a little bit more. Naz Reid, Dante DiVincenzo, Jaden McDaniels, they get a few more minutes here, and Anthony Edwards takes a little bit of a back seat most of the time. Obviously, if it's a close game, he's going to play, and he's going to probably get a lot of buckets. I also mentioned earlier that Anthony Edwards does like to shoot a lot of threes, and the Warriors are decent against guarding against threes. And then also the Timberwolves are decent guarding against threes as well, and that's what Steph likes to shoot, and pods. So I think this could end up being a little bit of a lower scoring game where maybe nobody clears this line. All right, DeAndre Hunter. You guys are going to freaking hate me for this one because we're going straight back to this guy who has failed for us twice recently. So we took him 3-4 days ago and he did not come through. We took him yesterday and he did not come through. We're taking him again. So if you think I'm completely stupid and don't want to follow me on it, then you're welcome to not follow me on it. DeAndre Hunter over 10.5 points. He's over in all but one head-to-head all but one home game with no Darius Garland. He shot 1 for 6 in this miss against the Hornets and only played 13 minutes. So obviously he was shooting poorly, wasn't getting any minutes. I expect the Cavaliers to spread the ball around in this game because they're coming off a back-to-back as well. And so I think that they're just going to spread the minutes out evenly. And so maybe DeAndre Hunter gets his normal minutes of 20 and goes over this line for us with 12 points. I don't know. He could end up with 10 points like he did tonight. Or did he even get 10? I think maybe he only got 9 points tonight. Yeah, he could. But I just think with everybody playing so tough and they're on a back-to-back, everyone played big minutes, all the starters. Now they maybe spread the ball around a little bit more. And maybe Hunter gets a little bit more efficiency. Now, if Hunter does not cash this bet, I promise to ban him from the channel for at least a little while. All right, Ayo DeSumo is the last one over 5.5 RA. If you want to pivot to his 18.5 PRA, I think that's okay too. He's over in all but one head-to-head, so that's on the left here. Huge hit rate against this team, against the Celtics. And then he's over in about 53% of games with Giddey on the court. That's the first half of this other chart. So from the Pistons to the Bucks, he's about 53% over. And then without Giddey, that is the rest of the chart, the Timberwolves through the Clippers, 100% over this line. Giddey's going to play, obviously, but he's going to play 20 minutes maybe. So I think that there's a good chance Ayo DeSumo goes over this line. I also like the full PRA 18.5. I just don't know if Vucevic or Kobe White is going to go on a crazy scoring run. And so maybe Ayo doesn't get as many points, but he at least has that facilitating role to step in for when Josh Giddey's not on the court. All right, so here are the 4 best bets, and then we have the 1 Moneyline Parlay. Now, if you skipped the beginning part of the video, unfortunately, someone hacked into my Venmo account, and then through my Venmo account got into my PrizePicks account and stole all my money. I got it all back. A lot of phone calls and a lot of talking to customer service on various apps, but I did get it back. But unfortunately, I just can't open myself up to that anymore. So I cannot be giving out the cash prizes like I usually did. I'm still going to give out some cash prizes, you guys, as of right now. I'm just going to keep track of what I owe you. When you hit $50, I'll send you an Amazon gift certificate or something like that. If you have any other thoughts of ways I could do this safely, then let me know. But unfortunately, I'm just not going to be using my Cash App or my Venmo anymore to give out these cash prizes to complete strangers all over the world. All right. Thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the video, like the video, and tell me 2 out of these 4 best bets that you like. If they hit, you'll be in for that cash prize giveaway. Thanks, guys.